What's up, y'all? Thank you for joining me. Another installment of the Real Life Show where we're talking about real life stuff where real people can relate. Today, I wanted to talk about something that it's near and dear to my heart, man. In my opinion, there's three pillars of life. You got your spiritual, you got your mental, and you got your physical. Now, I want to start with the mental. So, what is your mentality? What is your mental framework? Essentially, you got to be able to have a strong mind. Zach, how do I create a better mindset? How do I develop a stronger mind? Well, first off, it's a lot easier when you get older. So if you're a young person listening to this, like, you got to be able to grow out of old mindsets. You got to be able to grow out of old mindsets and old ways of thinking. I feel like you have to be more open-minded. You got to stop taking things personal as well. You got to be able to know whenever, okay, so here, boom, let's use this example. So, say if you are having a conversation with somebody and you can tell that their soul is just disturbed, you know what I'm saying? Like, say if you guys are like just arguing about something and what they're talking about is absolutely ridiculous, and you know in your head, like, that's absolutely crazy, you know, like, I really want them to know how wrong they are. You can have the mental mindset of just being combative with them, like, no, you're wrong. I need you to listen to me so I can tell you exactly how it's supposed to be. If the person mentality is closed-minded, first off, they're not going to shut up long enough to listen to you, first off. And second off, they're not going to have the mental capacity to even take in what you're saying in a intellectual way. It's pointless. So at that point, your mentality has to be like, okay, I gotta let their plant grow on their own. I can't overwater the plant. I can't try to open the leaves of the plant before it's ready to blossom. That person has to come to its own self-actualization of how, like, what current level that they're at and what they need to do in order to grow, in order to progress mentally. It's going to be a lot less taxing on you to try to, show everybody that you're correct, show everybody that you're right and you know what you're talking about. You have to have the mentality as, okay, inside, I know that I'm doing the work that I need to be doing. I know that I have the right mentality. I don't need to prove myself to everybody. I think a big part about mentality is having, knowing that you don't have to prove yourself to everybody, but just know it for yourself. Just know where you stand, feeling comfortable with what you bring to the table, the mentality that you have. And mentality can be broken down into so many different factors, but I guess I'm talking about just on a day in, day out, just like feeling good about yourself, knowing that you got the mentality that's gonna perpetuate you forward, and that's gonna cause you less stress. So that's point one about mentality. And you got to have a mentality as if, so hypothetically speaking, say if you're, it just kind of, I mean, it depends on what you're doing, you know. It's difficult. You got to know when to be right and basically when to be quiet. You got to know for yourself that, okay, this is where I stand. I don't feel like I need to prove anything to anybody. I've done my personal work. I've done my mental work. I've studied. I've researched. So I know where I'm at. I'm okay with them being wrong. That is fine. They could be wrong about me. They could be wrong about them. That is fine. I'm not worried about that. I know where I stand. So therefore, there's no need to have a combative argument. I'm not trying to open your leaves for you. I want you to blossom on your own. That's one part of mentality. I really need to break that down a little bit better, but let's move on to the spiritual. So the spiritual and the mentality are closely connected, because if you have a weak spiritual mindset, then your mentality will never get anywhere. You can, and I say this, be spiritual, not religious. Now, there are some religions that give you a framework. They give you a framework on how to act day in and day out in order to get to the promised land. Essentially, it basically gives you rules. The 10 Commandments and stuff like that. They're basically laws. I personally believe that religion is, it's like a law-based practice, to be honest with you. It says, do this or you will go under. But if you act like this, you will go up. And you want to be spiritual, not religious. Now, when you're working on your spirituality, there's several different ways that you can kind of, you know, tweak your spirituality. You have to have a good mindset. You have to make sure that your slate is clean of anything negative. You can't be consuming a whole bunch of BS thinking that your spirituality is going to grow. No, you got to listen to people that are like-minded. You got to be able to learn how to meditate, to be able to clear your mind, to meditate, bring yourself back one within your body, you know, instead of, and I think this is a big problem with a whole bunch of people. I think that they focus on everything that's outside of them, everything that's outside of them that they think they can control. They think that I can control this, you know, I can control that outside of me. They want to be here and they want to be there. But really, they lost touch about what's inside. What about your spiritual health? You got to be able to control what's inside of you. This is the only thing that we're able to control. And that's even to a certain extent. This is the only thing that we are able to control. You got to be able to learn how to meditate, to learn how to think for yourself and know when to go away from things whenever anxiety starts to accumulate. I think that's a lot. I think that's a big reason where anxiety comes from, because I think people are getting so far away from thinking for themselves and worrying about their own spirit opposed to trying to making everybody else happy. You will never be spiritually well if you go around trying to make everybody else happy. You got to focus on what you control opposed to everything else that's out here. And I know it looks pretty, you know. Everybody wants to, you know, they want to give their opinion on this, and they want to try to tell their person about this. They want to be on Facebook commenting a whole bunch of shit, talking about some whatever. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to control what you can control. And you will feel so much better doing that, because you will grow. You will grow. Learn how to meditate. Me, so for example, I'm not religious at all, but I do study different spiritual practices. Like, for example, there is I read this book by, I think his name is called Sun Tzu. Or basically, it was called The Way. You need to rid yourself of desire. That's what I meant to say. You want to rid yourself of desire. You don't want to have everything, because everything that we already need, we have. Wow, what's that? I'm telling you, everything that we already need, we already have. So when people go around thinking that they need this and they need that, they're getting so far away from what they already have that it creates anxiety. Like, how come I don't have this, and how come I don't have that? Because we already have everything. All the answers that you're looking for is already inside. Like, I didn't prepare this video. I didn't prepare this. Like, I wrote down a couple notes, but there wasn't anything that I was going to go grab that I was just like, okay, I don't have the information for this, so therefore I need to go get it before I can talk. No, everything that I already need is already inside of me at all times. It's up to you to unclog your mental and your spiritual, align your chakras, do some gosh dog meditation, and clear yourself of all the bile, the bad bacteria, the bad information in order to get the answers. All people do. I watched this video yesterday. It was called "The Story of the Stone," and there was this guy. What he did, he had a stone, and there was a child that I guess he said that the stone had some type of power within it. It like held some type of power in order for you to like ascend to the next level, I guess so, or whatever that may be. And there was a child. The child was like, well, I want this power to ascend to the next level. And the man's like, no problem. Here's your stone. So the child grabbed the stone. He's like, I want you to close your eyes. And then the child would close his eyes. And then for one reason or another, he just like felt something release in him. He felt some type of endorphins, and he felt something like, something that was being let go. He felt that, something different was happening than ever before to make it seem like the stone was the reason for this occurrence. And the kid was like, wow, how come I've never came across this stone before? Like, how do I get more? The man said, it's already it's like the power is already inside of you. This is just a regular stone. The power of placebo is so powerful because people that don't believe in themselves, whenever they get something that they think in their head is already going to help them, as soon as they take it, they think that the power is released inside of them, and now they have the ability to believe that change is possible, when in all reality, the change is within us. So third topic is physical. Now, the spiritual and the mental, I guess I should have wrote some notes there, but it's all good. So the physical thing. So spiritual and mental is on the inside. You got to do some inside work. The physical is on the outside. This is how you look. This is how people perceive you. This is how, this is what everybody sees. You know what I'm saying? You got to stay up with your physical. Go work out. Go work out. And I know it's difficult, but you have to understand that a sedentary lifestyle will do nothing but bad for you. I promise you. You have to be, look. So, even back like thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, like, there was no such thing as obesity. There was no such thing as like a sedentary lifestyle, because people knew that, well, first off, people were just hunters and gatherers, you know what I'm saying? So they were always in like starvation mode, always having to find their next meal. And sitting around waiting for it to come to them, that wasn't a thing. That was not a thing. They were out trying to get what they had. They weren't necessarily working out like we do today, because technically working out is like a simulation of living a warrior lifestyle. But you had to be strong. You had to be physically able to go get your food. That's what you had to do. You had to be one. You had to be one with your spiritual, and you had to be one with your mental. You need to be able to go work out. Not all the time, but just work on your physical self so you can feel better about yourself. You can show yourself that you can actually do it. You got to start somewhere. Hygiene. Go get a haircut. Clean your skin. Brush your teeth. things like that are going to make you feel so much better about yourself, to where you're going to be like, oh, wow, I'm this person that I always wanted to be. All the answers were inside of me, but I've been so busy letting all this BS clunk up my insides and clog my veins and my arteries and my chakras and stuff, that I never knew that I was actually able to be this person that I aspire to be. You got to be able to connect your physical, your mental, and your spiritual all in one to be able to ascend. And you already got a spirit. You already have it. You have a mentality. You just got to refine it and work on your physical health. We already have all the answers that we need right in front of us. All right. That was kind of an amateur video, but I really don't care. At this point, I'm kind of focused on consistency, on making these videos. But this is real. This is real spill. This is real talk. This is something that I would talk to my friends about, my family members. Like, nothing that I'm not trying to open their leaves. I'm just trying to point them towards the sun so they can do their own growing. I'm just trying to water the plants. I'm not trying to pull you out of the soil. I'm not trying to do that. But I will point you towards the sun. This is real spill. I know the information is kind of choppy, but give me a little bit. Give me a little bit. I got the answers inside of me, but I just started this. So give me an opportunity to show you that I can do it, because I know I can. But give me a second. Give me an opportunity. Until next time, this is The Real Life Show, man. Peace.